All right, everyone. Weeks ago, Michael Moore was sort of teasing out his movie Fahrenheit 11/9, which is like, basically the election day, I think. And he was like, well, this is going to be earth-shattering, earth-moving. It's going to change the political landscape. This is the final nail in the coffin of the Trump admin. Where have we heard that before? I don't think we've ever heard that before. Not even slightly. Nobody's ever predicted the demise of the Trump administration since, before he even fucking took the oath of office. No, totally never happened on the far left. But his movie flopped. It grossed like, 3 million opening weekend? It cost more to produce it, I think, than it actually made, and it's looking bleak even for making a return at all. Now, keep in mind, Michael Moore documentaries, for some time were quite popular. I remember Sicko and Fahrenheit 9/11, some of these other works that he did, very popular. We're talking, grossing for political documentaries enormous amounts of money. It's like, it's not Man with a Plan, even though Man with a Plan was far more funny. That was about Fred Tuttle. By the way, I'm still looking for a copy that I can find online. It's nowhere to be found. I don't know what the fuck. But yeah, his movie completely tanked. Now, the idea was basically it's talking about how moronic and stupid and corrupt the Trump administration is. But here's the thing. The legacy media right now is trying to cover for Michael Moore. They're saying, well, the reason why his movies don't make as much anymore as they used to is because now you've got like YouTube and stuff. Back in the day of Sicko, it was unique how he was doing these documentary formats, which isn't actually true. There were plenty of other documentary filmmakers, political and non-political, doing the same fucking shit that Michael Moore was doing. That's a total lie. It was more common, and back then it was more innovative. That's only one small part of it, though. The fact that Lauren Southern can make a documentary now with a shoestring, maybe 5-figure budget in a few weeks' time, that's not the main reason why. The main reason why, I think, hear me out here, is really because you've got to understand that the sort of fear-driven thing that Michael Moore is trying to seek to exploit here. He's trying to be an opportunist and make money, basically playing up to people who think that the sky is falling. That's a very small minority of even the left. Now, it looks like the majority. From the outside looking in, if you're not a leftist, you probably think, wow, these far leftists, they're taking over the Democrats. They're like, but it's really a tale of the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Basically, you've got a very small vocal minority of people that speak 10 times more because the rest of them, they feel complacent. They don't really care. But the other people aren't, by the way, going to speak out against them during a moral panic. It's never going to happen because they're afraid of the social justice warrior lynch mob. Now, I'll speak out, like people who aren't part of the left, but people who are part of the left, they're like a neoliberal. They're a corporate liberal or something. They're not going to say shit. But they're also not going to go see Michael Moore's movie. On any, sort of, very sanitized polling on a piece of paper where you're checking, do you like Trump or not, it makes it look like everyone hates him. When you get into reality, though, you'll find that most of those people simply oppose him for partisan reasons or because they're opportunistic or because they don't want to stand up to the far left. That is that the number of people Michael Moore was technically pitching his movie to was far less than he or anyone else considered possible, number one. Number two, does that demographic, which tends to be far younger, which tends to be far more poor than maybe the average, do they go to movie theaters? No, they don't go to movie theaters, not very often. Maybe they want to go finger each other in the back seat or something. They're not paying attention to your fucking shit movie. You're now not going to make a return on the movie at this point. It's fucking hilarious to see it flop. I say this as someone I liked Sicko. I don't agree with the final summation. Well, we need like universal health care. It's like, Cuba's so much better. No, I don't believe in that, but it was an interesting film. I've watched a few Michael Moore pieces. Back then, of course, I sort of considered myself a liberal because the Republic, George W. Bush was so fucking moronic. It was like, what else was I supposed to do? Because I was actually sane at the time. These days, though, Michael Moore, he just falls flat. The other part is he's doesn't have much appeal because he's such a fucking bloated windbag. The other part of it is really Michael Moore is a slob. He's an unlikable and confrontational, antagonistic individual. People, I think, just think he rubs them the wrong way. And also, he's white and male. For someone who's going to pitch a documentary about politics to a crowd of people who are on the far left, it helps not to be. In all honesty, that's going to hold him back, and he's got to understand that the tens of millions that he made that allowed him to live in his McMansion, he's no longer going to be able to generate that kind of revenue. That's just the way that it is in the left today. It shouldn't be. Like the left 10 years ago was, hey, we want to stop the war. We don't like corporate censorship. We're not selling out, basically the surveillance apparatus, the police state are bad things. Michael Moore and all the rest of the left have done one of two things has happened. Either they've sold out and they now believe in corporate censorship. They want Silicon Valley to tell people what to think, which is exactly the opposite of what they said 10 years ago with regards to Facebook and YouTube and sites like that. Then they want governments to spy on people. They want to legally and behaviorally oppress people who disagree with them. They believe in political intimidation and all of these things that they used to stand against. They also like globalism now, which is hilarious since it means worldwide corporate slavery. Michael Moore and people like him are cowards. They don't necessarily believe in those things, but they're not going to point out the fact that they oppose them because they're money grubbers. They want money, or because they're afraid of the lynch mob. They're afraid that a bunch of people who have been fooled by corporate propaganda dyed their hair pink and now it's seeping into their brain and making them stupid and ignorant. They're afraid that they'll character assassinate them. That's really what it's all about. That's about all. Peace out.